WWDC 2025 is just around the corner, and let's talk about the most anticipated operating system Apple is going to be talking about at the event, iOS 19, or iOS 26. Now, iOS 19 or iOS 26 is not just another update. It's shaping to be one of Apple's biggest updates in years, which is a little concerning because people have been asking them for a while now to focus on bugs and stability. And I do have some good news on that front, but let's jump into the features of iOS 19. Now, I keep using iOS 26, but hey, aren't we on iOS 18 right now? So what happened to 19? Well, there's a rumor going around that iOS 19 will actually be called iOS 26 to coincide with the year release, kind of similar to how cars are named after their model year. This would unify the naming of iOS and iPadOS and watchOS and tvOS and visionOS and potentially macOS just across the board to make things less confusing for the average consumer. And with this renaming rumor, there's also the potential, it's not rumored yet, but I imagine that there's potential that the iPhone could be dropping the number moniker altogether. So instead of iPhone 17 and iPhone 17 Pro or iPhone 17 Air, it might just be iPhone Air, iPhone Pro, iPhone Max, and iPhone, and maybe iPhone E. Now, the last thing about the phone's naming, that's just a rumor, but it would make sense for Apple to do this because take a look at the iPads, for example. Those don't have numbers on them. They have generations tied to them and number years. But disregarding the name iOS 19 or iOS 26, let's talk about what you can expect from the brand new software. So for iOS 19, there's really three main things to look forward to. One is the redesign. Two is the supposed fixing of Apple Intelligence and general AI features, and three, some other general improvements to apps and core functions of the operating system. So first, let's start off with that redesign. iOS 19 is set to get a complete redesign from the ground up based around the same style and visual appearance as visionOS. So think glossy, the fun and bouncy animations that you get from visionOS, or just look at the WWDC invite teaser that Apple posted, and it's all over Twitter and YouTube and Instagram. And with the mostly failed launch of Apple Intelligence and the revamped Siri, Apple's playing it safe this year with AI features. Apple's really focusing on practical AI things that they know they can pull off. Their new health coach, which is a supposed new subscription that'll use AI in your fitness and tie-ins to your Apple Watch to be able to track your food, so your calorie intake and things like that, and also suggest workout routines for you to do. And there's also rumors that they can use the camera on your iPhone to be able to correct your form if you're doing a workout, which sounds really cool. I don't know if they'll be able to pull this off because I don't have a lot of faith in them right now. But if they manage to pull this off, this will be a great subscription that I think a lot of people will like. Another great feature that I believe the iPhone Air users will be using is the new smart battery and AI stuff there. It'll tell you when your phone will be fully charged, which is a feature that Android's had for many, many years at this point, but it's a welcome addition, although I don't know why they need AI to be able to do this. Doesn't matter. And also optimizations directly to your batteries. Now, phones already do this today, but the ability for AI on your device to learn your habits throughout your phone when you're going to open an app typically, or what apps you use or don't use to then limit or extend your battery life can be really helpful. Now, Siri, let's talk about Siri for a second. Siri's kind of still been a failure, especially with Apple Intelligence and them not being able to update Siri to be able to allow it to access all your stuff and grab things from mail, to bring it into messages and stuff like that, allow Siri to connect to your personal context. They're really not doing much with Siri this year, which is kind of shocking, but maybe they're just giving it a little bit longer. They're going to give it a year, see how it goes, see if people really still want new Siri features. I don't know yet. But so far, there's no rumors on what they're going to do with Siri. There's going to be a lot more customization coming to iMessage, and really what I think Apple's trying to do is take on WhatsApp with the ability to change chat backgrounds, other customization features like colors and stuff like that. Now, that's only limited to iMessage. There's no rumor if those features will be coming to RCS, but RCS is also getting some major upgrades, including end-to-end encryption, which I think should have been there day one with RCS, but it's about time Apple added it, and also more things like inline replies. Something I'm excited to see has been the new gaming hub that's been rumored. Apple's been doing a lot of stuff with gaming kind of in the background, buying up a few game studios here and there, and the gaming hub is a new way to centralize your friends, games, achievements, and kind of leaderboards and all that stuff. Really exciting, although unfortunately, a lot of stuff still is not playable on anything Apple related. iPad, phone, macOS even, not that many games. Another thing that I was concerned with the launch of the iPhone 14 was eSIM. And apparently with iOS 19, Apple's going to be making it easier to switch to Android, which is very interesting for them. But the ability to transfer your eSIM digitally from your iPhone to your Android is going to be getting a lot more seamless thanks to iOS 19. iOS 19 will also feature a redesigned camera app that will mirror more of a Vision OS-like experience that has a little bit more of a glassy look, as you can see on screen right now, and I'm really excited for it. I hope they decluttered the camera app, as I think it's getting a little bit crowded, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, let's move on to AirPods. AirPods are essential to a lot of people's daily lives. People love these things, and they're getting even better with iOS 19. Apple will be introducing a new live translation feature right on device with AirPods. Now, it's unclear if this is going to be marketed as an Apple Intelligence feature, or you're going to need an iPhone that can run Apple Intelligence, or if this will just be a feature that comes out to everyone with AirPods. Now, another nice little quality of life improvement is Wi-Fi captive portals are going to be getting better in iOS. And what I mean by that is that you'll fill those out one time on one of your devices, and it'll sync across the rest of your devices for that portal. So you know when you're at the airport and you have to fill out one of those public Wi-Fi things where it wants your name and your email address, you can fill that out one time and it'll sync across all your devices. There's also reports that they'll be able to do autofill for these things, automatically put in your name and email address if you want, or what I think they should do is generate a fake email address, because I don't need these random Wi-Fi networks having my email address for basically no reason other than to target ads at me. Now, all of this sounds great, but what about the stability of the operating system? I think if Apple didn't even announce any of these features or do any of these things and just said, we're gonna squash all the bugs in the operating system and make this as smooth and consistent a user experience as possible, I'd be happy with that. But Apple wants to improve their operating systems and innovate. And with that, Apple has said they're focused on a stable release. They have come out and said they're focusing on making sure that the operating system iOS 19, when it releases this fall, that it is going to be as bug-free as possible. Now, of course, only time will tell. We'll have to see how these features are played out, if some of these come true, which ones don't, and of course, how stable the operating system is. That's been it. I'll catch you guys back here next week with my recap video for WWDC. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.